Quo, we have a query. Could you please suggest practices which might help us to realize oneness with the Creator, and perhaps add insight in how we might alleviate spiritual pride or arrogance? We are Quo and are aware of the query, my brother. Indeed, we can offer suggestions, and we would start with our most common, our favorite suggestion of a particular practice. You may say, we would give you one guess as to which practice this might be, and that is, of course, our constant refrain of suggesting the prerequisite to all other practices, and that is the meditation. Preferably daily, practice of meditation allows the mind to settle. Whatever form that may take for you, the emphasis here is that engaging in a regular, preferably daily, practice of meditation allows the mind to settle, allows the dust and the debris that cloud the perception of the mind to come to a stillness, allowing the light within to shine ever brighter through your mind so that your own beings, your own reality, your own connection to the Creator, and indeed your own identity as the Creator may be even more perceivable to you. This practice also allows for the chaos and the catalyst of your ever difficult density to be absorbed by your mind-body-spirit complex. It allows your experience to be taken into the heart, to sink ever more deeply into your being, so that you, as a seeker, may take these experiences and transform them and allow them to transform you. It will allow you to apply the love and the light of the Creator within you to these experiences so that more and more they may be seen for what they are, and that is a gift of the Creator to the Creator of experience, so that your perceptions, your desires, your seeking, turns ever more closely to the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. To turn more to the purpose of this question, the intent of the questioning, we would offer a slant upon this question, as we of Quo often hesitate to offer very specific types of practices. There are various reasons for this hesitation, one being that each entity is infinitely unique, and there is no particular practice that can be generally or universally applicable upon the life path of each seeker. And thus, to offer particular specific practices reduces our ability to speak to you as seekers, as a group of seekers. However, we can offer certain perspectives, certain ideas upon the idea of practice, upon the request for specific practices. And within our words, you may find an ability to develop a practice from our suggestions. Or you may develop a certain discernment and use our words to help you discover certain practices of your own. This discovery is quite important, for upon your third density planet there are many lineages, many types of seeking, many groups who have made much progress in the notion of practices that can unify you, and that can bring you to a closer awareness of the one infinite Creator. It is beneficial as seekers within this third density, as human beings, whether you are a wanderer from elsewhere or native to this planet, that these lineages of human thought and human spirituality be recognized and honored. And we believe that each present and each who becomes aware of our words may find deep, rich, fulfilling practice in communities upon your planet if you but search for them. If you make the request to the Creator in your meditation and in your prayer to come into contact with those practices that would aid you upon your journey, you will discover them. And if you dedicate yourself alongside your practice of meditation to these practices, they will yield fruit beyond your imagination. For though chaotic and difficult as your density may seem, there has been a deep transformation that has occurred throughout the ages upon your planet. The environment of difficulty has allowed certain groups and cultures to truly dive deeply into their hearts in order to discover such practices which they share. Sometimes openly and sometimes secretly. But either way, if you discover these, we would recommend dedicating yourself fully to such a practice. To offer some general understanding of what we believe is beneficial about any type of practice of spiritual seeking upon your planet, we would start with one that we believe is of utmost importance, and that is attempting to discover a practice or develop a practice. That does not necessarily seek to bring about pure happiness or pure joy in order to avoid those things that bring pain and suffering and discomfort to you. Indeed, these things may feel very nice, and it is quite natural and understandable that you, as seekers within the third density, would seek to avoid such pain and such discomfort. If you discover yourself seeking such practices in order to avoid such pain, do not judge yourself, for this is a very natural response, and it is part of your journey. And it is a part of most seekers' journey to discover that they are hiding from such discomfort, that they are avoiding such pain. But in doing so, you are avoiding some of the greatest gifts that the Creator has to offer within your density. This question posed asks for practices to help bring you into a greater awareness of oneness with the Creator. And we point out that in experiences such as your gathering this weekend, it is quite easy to feel that oneness, joy and peace and love flow so naturally. And of course, this is beneficial, and we encourage you to hold on to this flow of joy, to embrace it and allow it to fill you. But if this is the only thing sought, then there is much lost within your third density. And the progression and deeper awareness of the Creator will remain only in potential. It will not be realized within the heart of self. So we would encourage any practice that you engage in be a practice that, as this instrument has heard, leans into the sharp points. That seeks to engage with the discomfort and the pain and the suffering of your density so that you may come to a greater understanding of its purpose, so that you may discover that, though it does not appear to be a gift, it is, indeed, a grand gift that, once you realize it and are able to perceive it for what it is, you will discover within it the love and the one infinite Creator. This love is not always apparent. This is by design. This is why we encourage you to seek this difficulty and to seek this type of catalyst, for it is where the most growth, the most so-called progression can be had for the spiritual seeker. For in engaging with such pain, engaging with such discomfort, and seeking the love within it, you learn more about the many infinite faces of the one infinite Creator. And you become the portal for the Creator to shine its love and its light upon such experiences. There has been much pain and much suffering within your lives and upon your planet. And this is where the love of the Creator is needed most. And as you seek oneness with the Creator, we encourage you to contemplate to what end you are seeking such oneness. If it is simply to experience love for the sake of escaping this difficulty, then there is much more being left upon the table, you may say. Beyond this, we also encourage to seek within any practice that you discover one that does not chastise the self for failures. One that does not hold the self to standards that, if unmet, result in some pain or punishment inflicted upon the self. Where judgment is rendered due to some failure to discover that love, to break through to that so-called next level. For this type of judgment, this type of self-flagellation, much harm and much discord can be inflicted upon the journey of the mind-body-spirit complex. Not just within the present lifetime, but upon many lifetimes. You may find that such judgment prolongs the necessity of experience within the third density. But again, we encourage you, if you have discovered your own self-judging the self, to have compassion for all aspects of the self in that dynamic. The judger and the judge. For all things are proper for the entity in their time, and in discovering the judgment that you render toward yourself, you discover judgment that you might render towards another. And in healing and accepting those aspects of the self that are judged, that are seen as wrong and as failures, you may then turn that perspective outward and more easily discover love within the so-called or so perceived failures of others. You will recognize upon your own journey that each other self has a similar journey with similar difficulties. If you can forgive yourself, then your ability to forgive others, to accept others, becomes more natural. And thus the love of the Creator shines not only in your heart, but is able to be shined outwards. You may then act as a catalyst and an agent for the love and the light of the one infinite Creator that may accept all, that may love all. And in doing so, in discovering this ability to release judgment and attachment within any practice, within any experience, you become more closely aligned with your true nature, and that nature is the one infinite Creator. In this query, there also was a reference, or you may say, to a certain tendency towards third density seekers to have a type of spiritual arrogance. Indeed, we find this not only common, but nearly universal for seekers within the third density. For it is simply a construct impressed upon the seeker by your environment, by your societies and cultures. This is such a powerful density that it is almost impossible to avoid those things that build up the so-called ego, that make one overly confident once they have discovered a type of strength and power within themselves to successfully seek the one Creator. But we would emphasize that this is often not necessarily to be overly concerned about. For the seeker who has consciously and in their heart truly dedicated themselves to seeking the one Creator, to serving others, puffs up their pride and holds arrogance, then this is quite a strong invitation to the Creator to bring about such catalysts which might humble one, So our primary suggestion for grappling with the idea of pride and arrogance and the so-called ego within the life pattern of a seeker, within the practices that you may find and utilize upon your path, is to allow all desires. Allow yourself to express yourself as you feel in your heart, and then accept what catalysts may come and discover within that catalyst what it is teaching you. For at such a point in the journey of a seeker, that catalyst will be offering you humility and the opportunity to become humble. Such catalysts will become unavoidable in the life path of the seeker, and we cannot offer direct suggestions for how to avoid this, you may say. The only way to truly grapple with such pride is to allow the love of the Creator to bring about your own experience of humbleness through the difficulty of your experiences. This is not an easy environment for any seeker. Your third density in particular carries the quality of intensity that we find to be uncommon among the planets that we work with, and we cannot express the admiration that we have for any seeker who discovers the calling within their heart to seek and discover the one infinite Creator within the self and within your other selves upon your planet. For there are many, many influences that toss you about, that beat you upon the head, that make life painful and difficult and distract you from your ability to maintain a focus upon this desire. For you have discovered this calling within you and dedicated yourself to it, for you to truly seek to serve the one infinite Creator through serving others is incredible, truly incredible, and we offer our own support. It is available to you if you would ask. In much of our own effort, we concentrate upon sending love and light to your planet, and in particular to seekers such as yourselves who may need what you may call a boost, support, and wind beneath your wings so that you may notice your life path for what it is, so that you can remain centered within your heart and allow your experiences to move through you. Allow your experiences to engage with your whole being, with your thoughts and with your emotions, with your activities and with your practices. It truly is an honor to witness and to join you in this journey, and we cannot express our gratitude enough to be with you at this time. At this time, we take leave of this circle, and we leave you as we found you, in the love and in the light and in the peace of the one infinite Creator. Adone, my friends, Adone Vasu Blaragas.